Hi, this is Larry the Barberman of larrythebarberman.com, and today we're going to discuss what to do when you first purchase a Andis Fade Master or Andis Masters, because I'm getting a lot of complaints from clients complaining that when they open the Andis and plug it into the Frequency 60hz converter which they purchase, which is meant to reduce the noise that comes from a Fade Master or an Andis Master outside of the USA, they are still making noises, for one, pinching their clients, for two, cutting poorly, for three. All of those things shouldn't be happening. So what I'm going to do is just take you through a few steps to ensure that that doesn't happen and that you get the peak performance from your machine. So let's start by first taking the machine out of the box. The initial checks you want to do, you want to ensure that the top blade is parallel with the bottom blade, both on the left and the right, so there's an equal distance, so the blade is not crooked or slanted. That in itself is going to end up causing you to pinch your clients. The second thing you need to do, because these clippers are running at 14,000 strokes per minute, which are very, very powerful clippers, you need to ensure that they get a drop of oil on them first. So what I'll do is plug it into the Frequency 60hz converter, turn it on. So we've established that probably the blade, the armature is out, which basically means the blade, cutting blade, is going over the comb blade, so that's why it's making the noise. But let's first lubricate the machine despite there being noise. So a little oil to the right and to the left and to the centre. That just gives it a little bit of lubrication. So just to go over what I was saying to you, at the moment, looking at this clipper, I can see that the cutting blade is way over to the right. So what's happening, because the blade is way over to the right, when it swings to cut, it's going past the comb blade. This is causing the noise. So let's use my fingers as this here is the top blade and the bottom one is the bottom blade. At the moment, the blade is like that in compared to the cutting blade. This poses two problems. Firstly, the amount of hair that can go into the comb to be cut is significantly reduced. As a result, you're going to get poor cutting performance. That's problem number one. Problem number two, because it's in this position, way over to the right in this case, so it's like that, the cutting blade's going over the comb blade. This will create the noise. And not only that, when it's way over, it can actually cause the pinching as well. But let's just deal with one thing at a time. So what we need to do now, by turning the armature screw, basically what will happen is the blade will move from this poor position of purchasing, and what creates the noise, it's actually just going to move over like this. So the amount of hair that can go into the comb is going to be far greater, so you're going to get a far better cut. The span, the cutting span, the stroke from the left to the right is going to be far greater, which is going to get you a better cut. Okay, so what I'm going to do to straighten this out is turn it on, turn the armature screw. When I'm turning the armature screw, I'm looking at the shadow that is created by the cutting comb. I'm looking for the maximum span from right to left to ensure that the maximum amount of hair is going into the cutting comb and the cutting blade is going to cut all of this hair, which means you're going to get speed and efficiency. So that's what I'm looking for when I'm turning it. So right now that's over to the right. Now I've got that into the center, and this has got, looking at the shadow here, I can see that that's got a really wide span. So right now this clipper is in a really good place for me. So I hope that explains how you can A, stop the noise, B, get far better cutting performances by opening out the purchasing ability between the cutting comb and the cutting blade itself. So that will improve the performance of your clipper. I hope this is explained. One thing I will do whilst we're here, not necessarily with the Fade Master, I will do it with a wahl senior that I have open already. So what's happening when you're turning the armature screw is basically pushing this over to the right, and when you're turning that to the right, you'll see this arm moving, and when that arm moves, so does the blade. So this has nothing to do with voltage. This is the armature arm, which when you're screwing it it puts tension on this arm. By putting tension on this arm, it moves it over to the right, and when that goes over to the right, the blade, sorry, over to the left, the blade follows the direction of the tension. So that's basically what's happening. Hope this explains everything to you. If you have any further questions, do not hesitate to email me on the address below, or if you want any information on the Frequency 60Hz converter, you'll also have a link below for the website. Thank you for taking the time for listening.